Well, we know gastronomy, it's about how to choose, how to cook, how to eat food, right? So let's discuss a little bit about, and then I'd like to first start with what do you see, like how technology has changed how people choose how and what to eat? Because there's a lot of food tourism, online services, ordering, delivery systems. So how do you see that technology has changed, especially for Michelin, selling books? People are not, it's all online nowadays. So do you have some comment on the technology changing?
Yeah, as I was saying, we are facing a very harsh competition from all the user-generated content, the Yelp, the Google ratings. People are not using a guide or a written guide anymore to choose their restaurant. They're going online. What's really amazing right now is the impact of Instagram. Okay, social media, on social media in general and Instagram in particular, everybody is talking about food. And that's the main reflex of a lot of people that go to a restaurant to take a picture of their plate.
Yes.
And so
I see that lady on Instagram over there.
Yeah, everybody is doing Instagram. But it has a tremendous impact on how people are going to choose their restaurants. They have to be convinced by the look of the food to go to a restaurant. And it's a positive impact because people are, I would say, more interested in what they are actually eating, and they are more engaged to, when they go to a restaurant, they really know why they go there. It has kind of an adverse effect as well, because some restaurants are now just surfing on Instagram trends. I mean, an example is the avocado. At the moment, it's just crazy. It's everywhere. But is it, the main, the most amazing food in the world? I'm not that sure.
Giulia, any comment on the technology?
I was thinking about the evolution of vending machine, for example, because the previous generation of vending machine was like, you have a vending machine in your office, you know that there's not your lunch inside, snack or junk food or things like that. And also the customer experience from tech point of view was a pain point actually. If you didn't have coin, then no snacks. Yeah. And even if you have a coin, the coin stuck inside the machine, then you have to shake the machine to get your snack. But now you have the new generation of vending machine, very digital, where payment, it's not a pain point. It's very easy. You pay with your mobile phone. You have beautiful pictures, and food is fresh food. So you know that you can have your lunch inside the vending machine. So for me, it's a sector that has been disrupted deeply. And I think that we will have lots of new ideas coming from a vending machine.
How about in home appliance? Have you seen something, how technology has changed, how people cook and eat at home?
I've seen it, lots of do-it-yourself. I do my beer, I grow my salads, I grow my tomatoes. So I have the feeling that there's kind of, people want to manage food. People want to also entertain themselves with food production.
Yes.
And also a part of education for children.
Yes, and I mean, home food, there's this whole delivery trends, but also, I mean, on the gastronomy side of the food, a lot of startups that are creating new ways to have high quality food at home. It's not about just the Chinese around the corner. It's really finding chefs that are willing to prepare either to prepare boxes that you have to cook yourself, or to prepare finalized lunch or dinners in boxes that can be then transported to everybody.
Yes, and then when you're looking at these things quite closely, do you see some bigger trends coming back thanks to technology, like a clear trend? You see, maybe not the avocado because not really technology, but something which is actual, like a meat replacement, something like this. Giulia?
When it comes to technology, really, on food, and if we speak about trends, I see two big trends, meat and sugar, meaning how tech can make the the way of production of the meat. I mean, the technology has to make this way of production evolving. There's no way out. It's going to be like that. And the other thing is it's sugar, which is such an important ingredient. There's sugar everywhere, even in salty products. Sugar is absolutely everywhere. But we know that it's kind of danger for our health. So we saw lots of tech startups trying to solve these problems and picking up new ingredients, using technology to stabilize the ingredient and use it for industrial preparation.
And if we're looking, further down the value chain, there's a lot of technology also around the restaurants, we're going to have, I think, a good demonstration by Andrea on Food Detective later. But the restaurants have seen a lot of solutions coming to them to help them manage the operations of the restaurant, from food management, from order management, payment, and so there's a lot of innovation here. And it's also solving quite a lot of pain points for the restaurants. So it's been very interesting here.
How about like food 3D printing or personalized diets based on data which is collected? Do you have any comment on those?
We see lots of startups that are going in this way. This is very interesting because actually startups and tech is really ready to jump in this new field. But then when it comes to regulatory issues, then we are not there. And so the big question for the next, I think, 5-10 years is, what about law? What will be allowed to do? Because technologically speaking, we can almost do everything. And so where is the market?
Yeah, and of course, like the meat replacement, we have even in Europe, we have a couple of startups, but they're super early. It takes years for them to get on the market. But how about like going a little bit back on the home, and like you mentioned, the home delivery and these boxes, and do you see something innovative what's happening there in the home delivery? Like, can you get like a fine dining chef dinner delivered to your door and have almost the Michelin star experienced home, or how close do we are to that?
There are a couple of companies that are doing that, bringing a chef to your place. I've not heard of Michelin chef coming Michelin star chef coming to your place, but you have very, very good chefs that can come to your place and cook. My personal opinion is that it's a very specific segment of the industry, and it will remain a niche market.
But like, without the chef, but if the food just would be delivered, made by Michelin restaurant, is there like home delivery, fine dining startups happening?
Yes, there's one in France called Tech.Eu. It's an interesting position. They're using it's not home delivery, it's office delivery. And so they're partnering with very, very nice restaurants, and they make the most of the, let's say between 10 and 12 at the restaurant. It's quite calm. But the staff is here, the food is here. And so between this time, they can cook, maybe they can prepare 60 or 100 plates. And that's what they do. And it's kind of additional revenue for the restaurants using the same assets. And that's also very interesting because it helps. I mean, the restaurant industry is really, really tough for the restaurants. It's very high, very difficult to maintain a good profitability and to stay there. So this kind of initiatives that enable to really optimize the assets is really good for them.
And about the personalized diets, have you seen anything on those that? Because there's a lot of people who are either ethical or health issues and like that, and then you can get very custom diets nowadays. And is it easy or difficult when you go to grocery shopping if you're into cooking?
Yeah, we've seen like from the light approach, meaning you have a coach, and he tries to coach you and to tell you how to eat, what's the best for you. And then we go to the most advanced one, in which you send a drop of your blood. They make analysis, and then they exactly tells you what's great for you. Because the point of coaching is the retention of people. I mean, you start, Like when we start a diet, basically. We start and we do believe in it, but after like 2 months, it's over. And we go back to normal life. So they have a business problem in retention. And the new startups, the ones that are going to make really blood analysis, well, I think this is more interesting because maybe they're not going to coach, they are going to teach you how to eat, what's really the best for you. And I personally do believe in it. But it's, again, a matter of terms and condition and law, I mean, and privacy.
Yeah, so how do you see like that the consumer part, how is the consumer willing to adapt into these new trends? Or is it so that actually the consumers lead the way and then the big companies and the providers, or they have to like serve on the demand? How do you see that part?
Personally, Yann, I think that consumer never adapt, they adopt. And if they adopt, it means that the solution is there to, because the need was there, even if I was not conscious. I mean, if you make my life better, easier, happier, whatever, I will adopt your solution, that's for sure. But if I have to adapt myself, I think at least Western consumers are really not used to it. They are so spoiled, the more and more, that I don't believe in it.
Yann?
I agree with adopting with Giulia, yes. And you see, I mean, in the food industry, the delivery trend is really an adoption and a large-scale adoption of this, you know, Netflix and Uber Eats approach.
It's convenience.
Yes, convenience. Yeah.
Okay, so we're running out of time. So I'd like for the wrap it up. I'd like to ask a little bit about like what excites you at the moment in the food tech, culinary industry. It can be either some product or nice experience you had, or cool startup, or even a big corporate who came up with something innovative that really you had like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something very small, so small things, but I think big impact. It's the startup I was talking about, Wasteless. Before the MVP of Wasteless, people were looking at the chicken with the expiring date very far away, like chicken will expire in 10 days, because price was the same. So what we are looking with the retailer is that now people are doing exactly the opposite. They are searching for the chicken with the expiring date very short. Why? Because they have a little discount, but we are talking about 10-15%. It's not huge. But it's huge, the impact on waste, on food waste. We had 0 waste on chicken during the MVP, and the MVP is not over. So small things, but big impact.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, because of course food waste is a big problem in the globally, and from the supermarkets bottom line. Yeah.
So I'm choosing something completely different. What I really like at the moment is the fact that the chefs of the restaurants are becoming real rock stars. They are really impressive because these people are amazing. They are very precise, very they're crafting the food. They're very, just impressive. And so they're turning into rock stars thanks to TV shows, thanks to all these different websites that put them on the spot. And they're taking their role very seriously, to become key opinion leaders and to help change towards food. I'm thinking of big chefs that are opening canteens for the homeless, and one day a week they're coming and they're cooking for the homeless in Paris. Other chefs that during the Puerto Rico crisis organized charity dinners or went over there to distribute millions of meals. And also are leading the approach on food waste and short circuits by the example. And I think this is a really cool trend at the moment.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you audience for being so active here also.